everyone, this is EndoT800, and today I'm going to provide some video commentary on my latest makeover project. This is the Neca 1/4 scale Predator, and I know it's been around for a few years, but actually this was the Jungle Demon at one point, and converted him back to the Jungle Hunter. I didn't really care for the Jungle Demon, but I was able to pick him up at a really good price. So he made a perfect candidate for the makeover. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I changed on this guy, so you guys can get a better idea of more or less all the overall things that I ended up doing with them. So why don't we get started? One of the first things that I noticed on the original figure was the wrist computer here. There was a lot of light bleed, and rightfully so, because you were talking about a translucent figure. And ended up having to rechange all the electronics, and it's now powered by an external battery pack that uses rechargeable batteries, and I was able to replace the LEDs, and the symbols I was able to still salvage. Those were fine, but everything else inside there, yeah, they had to go. And also, as you can see, I ended up upgrading some of the lights on the lid itself, just to give it a little bit more animated look to it. One of the other areas too that I also ended up upgrading was in the biomask. Now, the Jungle Demon came with the flashy eye effects and the LEDs in the biomask there, as you see. But I couldn't utilize the flashy eye effects because they didn't go with this version of the Predator. And what you're seeing there is not actually an LED, that's actually a full-fledged laser. And I'll go ahead and I'm going to stop the video and turn the lights down so you can get a better idea of how they look in the dark. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then you'll be able to see them a little bit better. Alright, got a little bit more dimmer in here, so I'll go ahead and demo the lasers for you real quick. So yeah, and here they are. And generally what I'm going to do is probably put something in the display case where these are going to be aimed at, because you are dealing with a laser and you don't want people looking directly at it. But yeah, it's a kind of a cool effect, something you wouldn't see in any other Predator. And the LEDs are fine to utilize as well, but I think having a full-fledged laser kind of gives it a cool effect. I'll put my hand in here too so you can see it on that. See how they work here. So yeah, it's kind of give it something a little bit different. And I think with these things here, it's like I'm always trying to get something different, because just to set them apart from what I end up normally doing. On the board, you'll probably see them here. Yeah, so there they are, and when you move them around, the camera's going to lose its focus. And then also on the wrist computer, as you can see, as it's a little bit dimmer, you can see the effects of it, and the symbols. Yeah, obviously they show up a little bit more too as well. But yeah, it's kind of cool to have something flashing on them, and then when you have them in a display case, it looks even a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, and then there they are, full working lasers. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lights back on, and then we'll continue, and I'll just show you the rest of the stuff that I did as well too. Alright, here we are back with the lights back on. One of the other things that I ended up changing was the hand that you see here. It originally came with just the closed fist, and I wanted to have kind of more of the open hand, so I ended up casting that. On the wrist blades that you see there, I gave them kind of a stainless steel finish to match up more or less what you would see more or less the blades would be coated as. And I want them to be a little different from what the body armor color would be, so they kind of stood out a little bit more. And on this other hand that you see over here, I ended up having to reshape that so he can hold his trophy that he has in hand here. And I did this for a couple of reasons. The pose that you see there with the trophy skull, and one of the first reasons is because I wanted them to have something a little bit different than just him just grasping it from the top, and I didn't want him looking like my previous Predator. And then it allowed me also to add in some of the flesh drippings that you see there, and then also some of the blood itself too. And then I carry that down to the base itself. So on the base there's some blood droppings and stuff from on the trunk that you see there, and on the plant itself also. And also I wanted them like this so you can see the detailing underneath of the skull. And normally with these you don't see that level of detail, and it has quite a bit of it on the bottom. So I think having it in this mannerism kind of helps show that off a bit, which I think is pretty cool to have a skull like that. So if you're interested in these skulls, just drop me a line and then I'll let you know where to get them. The other thing too is on the spine, I ended up kind of giving it more of a broken back look, just to give it a more kind of a gore factor with that. And yeah, I mean, I think for the most part it's something a little bit different than you would normally would see. And one of the other things too that I ended up doing is in the with the biomask itself, I ended up adding the reflective lenses and then the mesh screening to the eye area there. There you can see the laser more in working there. And then also I added the hoses that you see there, because the hoses were translucent clear. So I made those from scratch. And then same thing on the laser cannon as well too. Added some heat distortion to the barrel to give it a more detail. There's heat distortion also on his chest plate that you see there as well too, where the blast marks are. And generally with this I just go through and everything that can be changed, I go ahead and do that. The trophies that he has on his chest there are all held up with the leather string. And I have the leather ties around his gauntlet areas there, so those on both arms and also on the legs themselves, they carry the same leather. And then with this figure, it didn't come with any netting, so I had to re-net him. And then I added the final touches, which is the quills. And the quills are on the arms, chest, on the face areas, down on the legs, in the back area too as well, of the legs, and then on his back as well too. The base that you see here is also kind of scratch made. I usually put that together once I get his pose worked out, and generally consists of real wood trunks. I usually just get those, primer them, and repaint them. And then I'll add in the foliage, the mossy effects, and the water effects as well too, to give it an overall kind of jungle feel. And I usually keep it a little bit more simplified, not too much foliage, because I don't want to lose a lot of the detail within the terrain that you see on the base itself. Yeah, and then the paint app usually consists of sometimes up to 8 layers of paint to kind of get the depth that I'm looking for. And yeah, I think overall once you do that, yeah, you can see the skin tones quite a bit. And I think filming it and stuff like that, you lose a lot of the subtleness of the paint. You'll see it more, and obviously in photos, and then obviously in real life. But yeah, even with that you see there, the dreads, those were all, I think, clear translucent, and they came out just fine. So but yeah, but that's it. I know it's kind of like brief and kind of seems straightforward and easy, but yeah, there was a lot more involved to this guy here than meets the eye. And also on the laser itself on there, it's powered by its own battery pack as well too, and it uses rechargeable batteries as well too. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, just leave some comments, and thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully next time I'll have something else to show you guys. Alright, thanks, bye bye.
One ugly motherfucker.